Pushout: The Criminalization of Black Girls in Schools by Monique W. Morris. I'll give my review of this book and thoughts about what stood out to me. Pushout gives many helpful tips of things that I plan to use in my classroom. I will go through what I found useful. I've been continuously interested in the topic of how to connect to the girls in my class. At Northdale Middle, we have 61% white, 13% African American, 8.8% Latino, and 9.8% Asian. We also have a predominantly white staff. Pushout discusses the topic of black girls being pushed out and not supported in school. This book helps teachers to understand how they can help and relate to their girls of color. Often a connection is missed between black girls and teachers, also white girls and teachers. These connections we need to make with our students will help them learn more. The definition of pushout for this book is black girls being forced to leave school and to go to places without a good education or education at all. All too often, black girls are misunderstood and asked to leave school. The girls often don't receive an education. Many black girls are judged because of appearance and mannerisms. They often get labeled as bad girls. They are often called ghetto, aggressive, loud, and out of control. This isn't the middle class definition of femininity. This is because of their mannerisms. Teachers often refer to their behavior as disrespectful, irate, insubordinate, and uncooperative, Morris states. These girls want their teachers and others to understand they are not trying to be any of these things, with the exception of some. It is just their personality. Instead of being helped, these girls are often pushed out of the school system. When girls are forced to go to alternate schools, they often missed out on learning opportunities. This is a factor contributing to the achievement gap. Another concept contributing to this pushout is that girls believe these things about themselves when they feel they can achieve these. Internalized, gendered, racial oppressions give black girls permission to lower expectations for themselves. They lower their expectations for themselves because of these stereotypes, and it causes them to be unsuccessful. Statistics show that suspension rates nationwide are the highest for black girls. They are 6 times more likely than white girls and 3 times more likely than black boys to be suspended. This has to do with a lot of different factors. Morris states this interesting question that she asked her class one time. She says, "I once asked a classroom of college students how they would describe the black girl attitude. They responded with neck rolling, eye rolling, and just ghetto. This shows where our stereotypical minds go when thinking and judging people. As teachers, we are expected not to do this. The sad reality is that it still happens. In order to lower these suspension rates, we need to do something about the way we think and view our students. This is where relationships comes in. Relationships is something we have talked about in our class, Teacher as a Leader. What we have talked about in class relates directly to what is stated by Morris in this book. Relationships are the key to understanding students. All students, no matter their race or gender, need relationships. Building trust with students is key. Morris interviewed many black girls in schools, and she found out that girls want to know that you as a teacher will consistently show up for them, have their backs, treat them with respect, and give them your attention. Morris acknowledges that girls experience injustice and that it all matters. All girls experience this. This is an idea that all students need relationships in the classroom. This, I believe, is what separates teacher leaders from regular teachers. Morris talks about 6 themes that emerge from talking to black girls from coast to coast about cultivating quality learning environments. The first theme is protection of girls from violence and victimization in school. As teachers, to help this cause, we can speak up if we see something happening. We can also promise that as teachers, we will not let stereotypes get in the way of how we view our students. Giving students a chance is key here. Number 2, proactive discussion in schools about healthy, intimate relationships. This can help all genders and races. Many students don't talk openly with their parents at home about healthy, intimate relationships. Having a space to do this is important to students for them to make the right decision. Pushout discusses many black girls that were in the sex industry and how this came about. It explained the impact it had on their school lives. This is why healthy, intimate relationships discussion is so important. Number 3, strong student-teacher relationships. I touched on this topic a lot already. Having strong relationships with students can provide a safe space. If students feel comfortable around you, they will want to try harder and will let you know their struggles and what they need help with. Number 4, school-based wraparound services. Number 5, increased focus on student learning, coupled with a reduced emphasis on discipline and surveillance. Because of discipline, many students are often out of the classroom where they are not learning what they need to be. Focusing on sending students to the office for good reason is important. Every time a student is asked to leave the class, they miss out on valuable learning. Obviously, we as teachers have to send students out of the class, especially so others can learn, but we need to make sure it is a valid reason for doing so. Number 6, consistent school credit recovery process between alternative schools and traditional district or community schools. Often, when students are sent to a juvenile center or to alternative schools, they are not on the same pace with what they are learning. Students often relearn things, causing them to miss a lot of work when they go back to school. The theme suggests making sure everyone is consistent at where they are at. The main point I get from Morris's book is that as a teacher, we need to develop relationships in order for our students to be understood. Teachers can build trust with black girls and young women in school by being there for them. Page 217. These girls want to know that their teacher is going to show up for them and be there for them. Showing these girls that gives them the support they need to trust you. Giving these girls your attention is also important. They feel known and loved when they are given attention. I can use all this book gave me every day in my classroom, dealing with any students, specifically black ladies, but any of them. I feel that this book gave me a better understanding about how I can connect with these girls and what most of these girls want from me. I would suggest this book for anyone trying to learn more on this topic.